There's a special kind of poison in false hope, and for 3 months I was drinking it like fine wine. It all started again with a single message from Clara, my ex. She was a musician, a brilliant one, about to embark on a massive European tour, her big break. We hadn't spoken in nearly a year, but suddenly my phone lit up with her name. She said she was nervous, that she was getting her affairs in order before leaving, and that my face kept popping into her head. That was the first sip. The calls started after that, late-night conversations that bled into the early morning, filled with the static of long distance and the warmth of old inside jokes. We talked about her new songs, my latest design projects, the future. It felt like we were picking up a book we had set down mid-chapter, the story still urgent, the ending unwritten. She was staying at her family's house in the suburbs to save money before the tour, she said, under the watchful eye of her older brother Marcus, a man who always looked at me like I was a stain he couldn't quite scrub out. He'd made his disapproval of me clear years ago. A week before she was set to fly out, I wanted to do something nice. I put together a care package, a small box filled with good noise-canceling headphones, her favorite imported tea, and a hand-drawn cartoon of her conquering a stage, a little good luck charm. I drove out to her family's home, a big colonial with a sprawling lawn. A polished silver sedan I didn't recognize was parked in the driveway, but her brother had a new job, so I figured it was his. No one was home, so I left the box on the covered porch with a simple note tucked under the ribbon. The next evening my phone rang. It was Marcus. His voice was cold enough to freeze steam. He didn't say hello. He just said, "You need to stop. Whatever sick little game you're playing, it's over." I was so confused I could barely form a sentence. I asked him what he was talking about, and then he dropped the bomb. "Clara is a married woman, you pathetic clown. She and her husband left for their tour and their honeymoon yesterday. Leave my sister and her husband alone or you'll regret it." The line went dead, but I kept the phone pressed to my ear, the silence screaming at me. Husband, the silver sedan, the tour that was also a honeymoon. It all crashed down at once, a tidal wave of lies. The brother's call wasn't just a warning, it was an attack. He called me delusional, a stalker who couldn't let go. I realized then that Clara hadn't just cheated on her new husband with me, she had cheated on me with him. And worse, she had painted me as the villain to her entire family to cover her tracks. My hurt curdled into a cold, diamond-hard fury. This wasn't just about a broken heart anymore, it was about the truth. I spent the next hour gathering the evidence. I screenshotted every flirtatious text, every late-night chat log promising we'd figure things out when she got back. I pulled up the call logs, highlighting the hours we'd spent on the phone. I even had a voicemail she'd left me 2 weeks prior, her voice thick with what I thought was affection, telling me she missed me more than she could say. I uploaded everything to a private, password-protected online gallery. My first email was to her husband. I found his professional contact on the band's website easily enough. The subject line was simple things you should know about your new wife. In the body, I just wrote a single sentence explaining that Clara had been living a double life for the past 3 months. Below it, I put the link to the gallery and the password hypocrite. My second email went to Marcus. The subject, since you're so concerned with morality. I told him that while I appreciated his call, he should probably direct his anger toward the actual liar under his own roof. I reminded him in excruciating detail of the affair he'd had 5 years ago, the one that blew up his own engagement, a secret Clara had tearfully confessed to me back when we were together. I told him his sister was just like him, then I added the same gallery link and password. The final message was for Clara, a text, just 5 words, "They know, have a good tour." Then I blocked her number. I didn't have to wait long for the fireworks. About 48 hours later, just after midnight, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. I answered, and Marcus's voice, slurred with rage and probably expensive whiskey, came roaring through the speaker. He wasn't threatening me this time, he was venting, a volcano of fury erupting because I had brought this chaos to his doorstep. He screamed that Clara's husband had seen it all, that he had confronted her in their hotel room in Paris. Apparently, one of our longest phone calls, a 2-hour marathon, had happened on a night he thought she was out getting sheet music with her bandmates. Marcus was furious that he was the one getting panicked, tearful calls from across the Atlantic, that his perfect family's reputation was in shambles. Through his ranting, I got the most beautiful, satisfying detail. Clara, in her desperation, had tried to stick to her story, telling her husband that I was the obsessive one, that I had fabricated everything. But her husband had simply pointed to one of the screenshots, a text from her to me that read, "I wish it was you I was going on this trip with." In that moment, listening to Marcus unravel, I felt nothing but a profound sense of peace. I hadn't just exposed a cheater. I had taken the false narrative she had so carefully constructed around me and burned it to the ground in front of the only people whose opinions she cared about. I have no idea if they stayed together. I never looked them up again. Some stories are better left without a final chapter, especially when you're the one who got to write the perfect ending.